keeps the beer really cold. I took a nice run today, and sometimes I don't want a heavy-duty IPA beer. I just want a good old American Budweiser beer. Okay, I know you beer snobs out there. I know what you just said about me. I know. But it's drinkable. It's okay. Hey, afternoon there, Rentone, Seattle. Oh, that's, look at that. It's Mr. Larry. Hey, Jane. To your health, Jane. I know this is your favorite beer. You know, when you're thirsty, it's cheap. It's a very clean, fresh taste. The quality is excellent. It's a good old American lager beer. You know what's nice? If you're not in the mood to finish the whole thing, you can reseal it and stays cold. Hey, I've got an interesting story to tell you guys today. Have you heard about Equifax and that they lost 140 million of your personal credit information, your social security, where you live, all your credit cards, your date of birth, everything? Well, we dealt with that today, and I want to share with you guys and maybe save you. I did hours and hours of research and phone calls and solutions, and we resolved it today. We protected ourselves. And I just want to save you guys a lot of time so you don't have to go through what I did. Hi there, Mr. Buckles. Thanks for joining us. First of all, what you need to do is, and just take this step by step, guys. It'll go to Equifax, okay? They're the ones who screwed up the whole thing. Hey, buddy, go to Equifax.com, and you have to put in the last 6 numbers, and they have a special section there. It's called where you can put in the last 6 numbers of your Social Security. Okay, you put in your name, last 6 numbers, and you check whether or not your credit was violated in that tremendous leak by those hackers, okay? I checked mine, and they said, it looks like I'm okay. But I checked my wife, I checked my kids, and theirs was violated, okay? So what do? What's your next step? Find out you're violated, and these geniuses at Equifax. You know, they even had a couple executives who was on the news, and they sold their stock. This is something that goes back to July, and here we are in September just finding out about it. In my personal opinion, these are not the brightest light bulbs in the world, maybe not, and maybe not the most honest people either. That's just my opinion, guys. Okay, I mean, they're supposed to protect our credit, and here they are. They get hacked. They can't hire people with all the money they make and everything. They can't hire someone to protect our credit, our Social Security. Our whole life is in those computers, and now 140 million people have been violated. Okay, it's frustrating. So go to Equifax. First of all, find out if your credit was violated. First thing. Just send me all your money, Claude, and you won't have a problem. The check is in the mail there, Larry. Okay. Number 2, there's 3 basic credit reporting agencies. TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. What you want to do is go into one of those. I recommend TransUnion. I think they're the best, the strongest. I don't want to go back to Equifax because they're geniuses. They're not geniuses. Go into TransUnion. Let me give you a phone number. And what you want to do is put a freeze on your credit. Now, that means that nobody except people you've previously negotiated with, your mortgage company or car loan, that nobody else can go in your credit or utilize your credit until you open or release your freeze. Now, these credit reporting companies are going to want to they're going to want to sign you up for one of their programs, and they'll tell you, well, we'll give you a free month or something like that, but then they'll charge you as much as $25 a month, and they'll inundate you with spam and garbage like that. So what you want they're going to try to tell you to sign up for a lock on your credit. You don't want to do that. You want to do a freeze. It's easier, it's simpler, it gives you all the protection you really need. Might cost you $5 to $10. Some of them they did. I got to tell you, I just did it with TransUnion. I was on hold for a healthy half hour, guys. Okay, and there's no getting around it. And they didn't even charge me the $10, by the way. I think they're under a lot of pressure right now. What is your thoughts on Credit Karma and LifeLock? I don't know those companies. I think they're credit protection companies that you have to pay an endless monthly fee to. Tell me if I'm right or wrong, Mike. They're not for free, and you got to pay this fee for them. So, but under federal law, you can lock or freeze. Excuse me, not lock. You can freeze your credit. Yeah, credit protection. Under federal law, a lot of your stuff is protected anyway. I say it this: how many times are you going to apply for a loan or a credit card or whatever? All you got to do is unfreeze them. So that's exactly what I did. Took a half hour because everybody in the world is calling. They didn't charge me the $10. In California, it's $5. If you're over 65, it's actually free if you live in California. You can view your score for free from any of the major credit reporting agencies anyway, once a year, under federal law. So that's not a big thing to check your credit. The thing is, you want to shut it down. You want to freeze it so nobody with your Social Security can access it. The phone number for TransUnion is 888-909-8872. I'll say this again for you guys. 888-909-8872. Freeze. You want to free if you found out that your credit was violated by Equifax, or maybe even not, just freeze it anyway. It's not a big deal. You can always unfreeze it when you go for a loan or something like that. And if you freeze in one of the credit reporting agencies, and I did TransUnion, as I said, it actually puts alerts to the other credit reporting agencies, and they put higher security. So if you do it from one, a freeze, you will get actual higher credit security alert on the other credit agencies, Experian, Equifax. This took me, a lot of paper, a lot of research. I went on to Consumer Reports. I did as much research as I could, and the simplest way to do it, the fastest way to do it, is call up TransUnion and put a freeze on it and protect yourself. Because you guys, if somebody gets, God forbid, your credit information, and 140 million people is a hell of a lot of people, that is a kind of worry that you don't need in your life, guys. So take care of that today. This is important because they have your information and they can utilize it today, weeks from today, maybe even years from today. So take that freeze. Beer today is, don't laugh at me, creator. Good old cold Budweiser. Took a long trail run today. It's fall out here, all the orange and yellow leaves and everything like that. You're welcome. Take care of it, guys. Protect your credit. It's just, this is like a disaster with Equifax. I hope Congress puts these jerks in jail. I hope they shut them down. I really do. They lost our personal information. They betrayed our trust. I don't know a thing about LeBron. Boy, you asking the wrong guy, Yash. All I know is about beer, and right now I'm talking about credit. And then I kind of want to move on a little to some of the deals I did this week and the $1 Million Rule. So cheers to your health, ladies and gentlemen. It's still good. It's still drinkable. It's no IPA or anything. We do have so many local breweries here. I just haven't had a chance to take my grogger. You guys call them groggers, those nice big bottles. Hello, Sean Osby. Sean, you want to listen to what I just said about Equifax and protecting credit and stuff like that, as far as that goes. Little story here. A growler. I love my growlers. I did a podcast with Joe McCall this week. And we called it the Great Marketing Debate. Joe is really big on mail lists and mailers and things like that. I'm really big, if you've listened to me before, on social media. And Joe and I were recording it, and he's going to do that on his Real Estate Mastery podcast, I don't know, in a couple of weeks or something like that. What I did is I recorded it, and we did it in Zoom. And Zoom is the best for recording, by the way, and for group conference calls, guys. It's like $14 a month, and it's just great. I use it for my very large group calls every Monday. Sean, you know about that. And anyway, so I recorded the debate that we did. It was about 55 minutes. While I was recording it, I was broadcasting it simultaneously on Periscope, if you followed me, and maybe some of you guys saw it. Did you? And I also had it on Facebook Live. I then took the recording and I uploaded it to YouTube. So anybody who wants to go on my Facebook or YouTube can see the great debate that I did with Joe. And I think there was a lot of good information there in that. Now, here's where it really gets interesting. Claudia and I, my lovely girlfriend of 30-something years, we have to drive to a board meeting. While we're driving in the car, I had a phone call with somebody who saw that presentation. That was a deal. Word of honor. Contract, deal, everything. Equifax lost our trust. You were so right. You don't get a second chance to screw with my life and take my personal information, birth dates, everything, and lose it. Let me tell you the story, though. So I did a deal while we're driving. In my car, I have Wi-Fi. It's a Cadillac XT5 that I lease my cars because I can write them off. And it's just a nice, roomy vehicle. It's my little work truck, or ATV or whatever they call it, SUV. And after the meetings, meetings, I hate meetings, okay? 2-hour meeting, get back in the car, get another phone call, someone else who saw that broadcast, okay? Another deal, another contract. Word of honor, guys. 2 deals within 4 hours as a result. So while we're having a debate on social media, I broadcast that thing I did with Joe. I got 2 new clients right from that. So I rest my case. Social media rules. You got to be creative. You got to be contemporary. You've got to, you got to be a little bit compelling. Put out great information from people. Talk about your life, where you went for dinner. Talk about your deals. Talk about whatever you want. But try to get a following. And someone might type into Google, see your video. Try to make it geographically centric. I talked about that on the podcast. And, if you live in Orlando, Florida, put in Orlando rent to own. Somebody's going to type in rent to own, lease purchase, lease with option for Orlando. And guess what's going to happen? They're going to find your video. They're going to find your Facebook posting. Was it a real estate deal or coaching deal? Yes, one of each. Good question. It was one of each. And that just came from broadcasting on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook Live, Periscope Live, putting out that content that people found interesting. They follow, call me, I answer my own phone, they call me. I use the gut sales method, which is the psychology of persuasion, and the magic happens. The one you sign up for, I don't know what you mean by that. I don't know what you exactly mean by that, Michael. Anyway, 2 new clients, 2 new deals, 2 new contracts as a result of social media. Not even, let's see, we did it at 11 o'clock. Claudia and I were in the car around 4 o'clock, 5 hours later, resulting in 2 contracts, 2 very, basically, what most people make in 1 to 2 years, I made in the car because of social media. This is what I do, guys. It works fantastic. So while your competition is sending out mailers and blind mail lists and dialing for and driving and hanging things on doors for dollars, social media is the way to go. And if you don't believe me, check out Gary Vaynerchuk, okay? He'll tell it to you in a different way. Okay, yes, there was one of each. There was one for gut sales training, another one for a real real estate deal. So how about that? I wanted to talk for a minute about my $1 million rule. Sometimes I don't think I talk enough about it. The $1 million rule. People, and write this down, guys. This is the rule that will make you rich. If you embrace it, practice it, embody it, utilize it, you cannot help but succeed in real estate or anything else. Hello, Lady Bandita. We're going to drink to your health here. Got a nice cold Budweiser. Don't you love this bottle? It's aluminum. It's icy cold. It really keeps it. I think they're cool. I don't know. I just liked it. That's why I pulled it out of the liquor store here. To your health. I hope you guys have had a wonderful week. And the weekend starts now, right? So here's to your health. Good. Nice stuff. If I didn't spill it on myself, though. $1 million rule. People make immediate, underline that word, people make immediate business decisions emotionally. So what do most people do? And what does that really mean? It means that, hey, creator, thanks for joining. What it really means is that when your competition in sales, they're talking about features and benefits, and they're going through this whole presentation, and they're just telling and talking and talking and giving all these kind of inane facts in guts. We want to make the prospect emotional. Ask yourself, what is more emotional than real estate? When you're talking to a buyer, should you tell them all about lease purchasing or wholesale real estate and cross all the T's or dot the I's? Or should you ask questions that bring out the EQ, the emotional quotient? Guys, I see this every day. You ask questions. Why, gee, Mr. or Mrs. Prospect, why don't you keep living in your grandmother's basement? What's wrong with that? Oh, you want privacy. And grandma keeps barging in at 10 o'clock at night at an inappropriate time. Okay, I understand. So privacy, that's important. How about warmth, security, pride of ownership? Are these all emotional things that you should be asking about? Mr. or Mrs. Prospect, you've been paying rent for 10 years. If you owned a house, do you think you'd have some equity in that property by now? Do you think you'd have some appreciation? Would you have had tax advantages? Is money important to you? Having a future, having savings? Off the role play. Is money important, guys? Is it emotional? You better believe it. It's very emotional. How about a roof over your head? Staying warm, staying comfortable, having a place that you can call your own. This is the EQ I talk about, guys. So instead of talking about, gee, the house is built this way and we use this construction company and all the other things that you think are important to you or them, why not ask them questions that bring out the EQ? Gee, you know, this, I don't know if you're interested, Mr. or Mrs. Prospect, but this property is right near the running trail, the tennis courts. You got a backyard. Do you have kids? Do your kids like to, do you have a dog? Maybe they like to run around a lot and get some exercise. And the kids, you can watch them outside, and there's a nice fence around the yard. Are you big on security? Because this is a safe neighborhood. Do you or your wife or the kids ever come home after dark when the time changes? Is that important to you? See, all these things. Something will resonate with people when you bring out the EQ. So instead of talking about all the facts and figures and everything, get the prospect talking and bring out all that emotion, and you will see some wonderful things happen in your sales. People make immediate business decisions emotionally. They only justify or ratify them intellectually, logically later on. So if you can get them emotionally involved, they might make an instant. I am not kidding you. I close people in the car in one phone call. I do it all the time because I don't give presentations. I don't beg for the order. I don't ask 10 times for the order. And these gurus are still teaching this shit, pardon my language. You've got to learn to ask the questions like your doctor does, like your lawyer does, when they want to help and represent you or treat you or remove a pain or a problem. They ask questions, but you ask questions the right way, and you get the prospect emotionally involved, and they'll do all the work for you. They'll become the salesperson, and you're just sitting back trying not to laugh because you know exactly what you're doing. You know exactly what they're going to say or do. And you can make sales so much, it can make it so pleasurable, so much, you can make it, have so much fun with it. And you're staying in control, and you're not getting emotionally involved, but you're making them emotional, and you will see the magic happen. I do this every day with people, guys. Stay away from the presentation. Stay away. Oh, God forbid scripts, please. Someone told me this week about the Mike Ferry organization, which I have a lot of respect for, but they're big on the scripts. Someone else told me about another guy in the Midwest who teaches lease purchasing, and he gives these boring, redundant, obvious scripts to all his students. What are you doing? I'm talking. I think I'm talking. You should start listening. Then you'd know what I'm doing. I'm talking about real estate. I'm talking about social media. I was talking about the Equifax disaster. I was talking about drinking cold beer. That's what I'm doing. So anyway, just wanted to touch base, and it's okay to say no to me. Why do we do that, by the way? It is a takeaway. You're right there, Larry. You know, why do we say it, though? To be cute, to be funny? We do it because we show the prospect that we're not desperate, we're not beggars. Mr. and Mrs. Prospect, I'm here to help you, but listen, if I can't, if this isn't a practical solution for your budget, your time frame, what your needs are, would you just do me a favor and just say, Claude, you're fired? Or Is that all right? And I'll be out of your hair here, okay? Just a quick question though. You've been living in that one bedroom apartment with your 3 kids and 5 cats all these years. Isn't it ready? What if I could get you into a new property in the next 30 days? A rent-to-own property, and we could set the whole thing up so we know when you'd qualify for a mortgage, and maybe even get some of your rent money working for you towards the purchase. Would that be interesting for you? Would that be that you wouldn't want to do that, would you? That's a negative redirection. I know Larry heard that. Okay. And this is using your words like a surgeon uses a scalpel is amazing. Just call Equifax. It's a disaster for sure, John. Yeah. Did you find out if your name was in that? My wife, my 2 kids, both their credits were violated. I was lucky. They use the word may, by the way, in that. Go to Equifax. I think I have the webpage address here somewhere for you. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, EquifaxSecurity2017.com. Go in there, put the last 6 digits of your Social Security, and find out right away if there was a breach of security on your private credit report. If there is, I recommend, once again, go to TransUnion, which I think is better than all 3. My Social Security wouldn't even come up. Maybe that's a good thing. You just got to put in the last 6 numbers, though. It's a little tricky. And then go to TransUnion, 888-909-8872. And you might be on hold for a while with really bad music. The worst music. But and I was on hold for at least 30 minutes. But I got some guy in India. Good day. My Indian friends. And I put a freeze on my account, put a freeze on my wife's account. Okay, they didn't even charge us anything. Nobody can screw with it when there's a freeze on it. And so that'll give you guys peace of mind, because I'll tell you what, the wrong person, there's so many trolls out there. There's so many hackers out there. The last thing you need in your life is someone messing with your life and your credit. You just don't need that in your life. You'll be days on the phone trying to fix it. And for a simple phone call, take care of yourself. Anyway, thanks for putting up with me, drinking some cheap American Budweiser beer. You guys, I hope you're out there, you're having fun, you're giving good phone, please. Okay? The phone can be your friend. It doesn't have to. I talk to people all the time, and they tell me, oh, Claude, I made 100 phone calls today. That is my worst nightmare. It is my worst nightmare. It's okay. It's not the greatest beer in the world. I usually have IPAs here and Sculpins, but I wanted to grab something quick and easy today, and this is very drinkable. So to your health, have a great, safe weekend. Take care of your credit and protect yourself, and learn the gut sales method. Great weekend to everybody. It's not that bad. It's just good old Budweiser. Take care, guys.